Okay, here is Della, and she's up on the table. And normally, again, I would use my wonderful co-conditioner. I like Royal Magic Touch. There's a lot of different brands. Basically, you're just going to spray her. This is not coming out. There we go. Spray her a bit. And then you want to brush her pretty thoroughly before you start the grooming process. Again, you want to make sure that your dog has been washed, because if not, it will not be a good thing for your shears. So you want the dog to be nice and clean. If your dog isn't used to being on a table, you don't have to use the dog grooming table. You can also just use your kitchen table. You want to use a lot of treats and say, "What a good girlie you are." Yes, you are such a good girlie. Okay. The first thing I'm going to show you, Nicole, because this is where you specifically have some issues, and hopefully with doing this myself you can see what I'm doing, is the butt area. This is Piper's mother, so they have a similar kind of coat. It is not a straight coat, and that is okay. They're not supposed to necessarily have a straight coat. Washing and blow drying first is a good idea, because it will help straighten out the coat. You're going to use the thinning rake. And in the areas where the hair sticks up, you're just going to rake it. Don't do it too many times, maybe 5 or 6 times. You're bringing out about that much hair. And then you're going to brush it down. And you're going to continue to do that until you see the hair lay down a little better. And you are going to see that as you continue to rake in here. You're going to pick up the hair, you're going to get down to the bottom hairs, what we call the guard hairs, and you'll see as you do that, you're going to get a much smoother look, and it'll give you a better top line. I don't know if you can see the difference. Hopefully you can. Obviously she is shedding. You can see what's coming out of here. The other thing sometimes that you want to do on a toddler, depending on how they grow, he's young, he may not need it yet, but Della does, is sometimes they get really thick in here and it looks as if they don't have a neck. So you're going to come in here and you're going to use this rake and you're going to pull out hair, because it's going to thin them out in there, and it's going to make them look as if they've got somewhat of a neck into a shoulder, and that's important for the show. You want to make sure that you can actually see what we've got going on. She's got some funky hair here. So again, we're going to use that the thinning rake to do that. I like to use the thinning rake under the ears also, because that'll do away with some of that hair. Another technique that you can use for hair that is sticking up, for example, right in here, you can see she has that. And then sometimes when they've got what I call these little horns that are growing out in there, is to use your thinning shear. And what you're going to do is you're going to come in, hope you can see this. Hopefully you can. Let's see if I can do it. You're going to go into the hair, one cut, whoops, and then you're going to brush out what you get. See how you look? Necessary, you're going to do that again as needed. Don't forget with the ears, you're going to pluck out any dead hair. You don't want to see any things that look curly or fly away. That's the stuff that needs to come out. The other thing you're going to do with the ear, you're going to brush it this way. Always use your thinning shear because it looks more natural. Is anything that comes beyond the edge, oops, you're going to take the ear, you're going to look at it from underneath, and you're going to trim around the edge only with the thinning shear, not with the straight edge, or it'll look purposely cut to make the ear look neater. I also do clean out the inside of the hair inside the ear, especially some of these long pieces here. Obviously for that you can use a regular old scissor. Again, as they grow, some of these hairs get really, really long. So you're just going to come in and trim those away so that they're not there. So this is a squeaky scissor so that they're not there. And you'll have a much neater ear look there too. She's got a lot of standing up here hair right here, So I'm going to come in with the thinning shear there, see what I can pull out, see if I can flatten some of this down. And again, it is okay that she does not have a totally flat coat. And hopefully you can see the difference of what we've got. You can see what's coming out. If, again, you don't seem to be getting, there's still a little bit too much, go into the inside of the hair one time with the thinning scissor, brush it down, and it'll take out some hair, so hopefully we'll lay nicer. The only other thing you're going to be doing with the dog is you're going to be cleaning out the feet, this part of the foot, straight scissor. You're going to be clipping everything out underneath here. When you're done, you want to brush up the foot. And I don't know that you can see this, but you don't want hairs around the edges of the foot, so you're going to go around the foot. You're going to clean that up so that there aren't a lot of hairs hanging down beyond the foot. Anything that's high and sticking up, you're going to use the thinning shear and you're going to thin that out. So you make a nice round looking paw. You're also going to take this part. You want this to be all nice and cleaned up off the foot. You're going to pull it forward from the underneath the flat part above the thumb. And you're going to thin that again with the thinning shear so it looks natural. And you're going to cut that a little bit short up to the little palm nail part there is where you're going to clean that. You'll do the same thing with the foot in the back, and then what you're going to want to do with the back is going to brush this part up. You're going to, obviously like we did before, you're going to clean up the whole foot. You're going to come around the flat edge on the bottom. You're going to trim this out, make the foot nice and rounded looking. But then you're also going to come in and you want to make this look nice and straight all the way down. Hair should be a little bit short back there, and you're going to clean it up. Not short enough that it's to the skin, you still want some fluff, but you want it to look nice and neat. All the way straight down. So we've got the feet, the ears, the top line. I really don't do much else to the dog because it is not acceptable really for them to be groomed. You just want to look at how their coat presents. If you've got a thinning issue and you've got some really bizarre hairs that are way longer than any others, you can come in and just carefully thin out with this. Same thing up here. If you've got a few strays, you can use only the thinning shear and come back in before you bring them out. Cut those off so they look less sticking up. That's a good girl, Deli. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you can see everything, and I'm going to give her some treats. You're the goodies, Deli. That's a good girl. You a good girl? Yeah. What a good Della. She's a very good girl. Good girl. That's a good girl. And that's it. Call me if you have questions. Stay.